With both joy and sadness, I am sharing my remembrance of Mr. Timuel Black. It was a great honor to have met and interviewed him in his home on June 25th, 2018, when I was just 9 years old. For as long as I can recall, I have adored learning, especially about history and biographies. When I first moved from Chicago to Munster, Indiana in the 4th grade, I continued to excel in school, but I saw a big difference in the environment and was extremely shy, especially during Black History Month. I felt uncomfortable when little was taught about the civil rights movement or how fear of discussing the past leads to problems in the present. I also noticed that many of the kids in class who said racist things were misinformed. It seemed they never learned more than the same few major events that marked the movement. So, I talked with my family and decided I wanted to support equality and justice for all by doing my part to help educate the kids who will one day lead the world. Mr. Black was one of the first people I wanted to ask questions. My grandfather reached out to Mr. Black through a mutual friend, and he gave my grandmother and I a time when we could come to his home for a visit. Before entering Mr. Black's home, I thought about how I'm going to interview a person who is nearly a centenarian, is a lifelong learner and educator, a veteran, was an activist at the beginning of the civil rights era, knew my great-grandfather, and so much more. I felt proud to meet him. Timuel Black talked with me about many things, and he urgently repeated a few points that I will never forget. His first message seemed like a promise or a message on a protest sign. It was the one I've heard him say many times since we met in 2018. A change gon' come. He said to me, these young people, 5th grade, 8th grade, they have to believe that the future is gonna be better for them and be prepared.
All right.
When George Floyd was murdered, I remembered Mr. Black's words and thought that the time is now for change to come. I cherish the ability to re-listen to my recording of our talk and reminisce about the impact he has had on me. Several times during the interview, Mr. Black made it clear to me that education is key to being prepared when change comes. He told me about being a high school teacher in Gary, where the school system was based on race and class. Some of my students were discouraged from being successful, and my goal was to teach them to be as smart as anybody, he said, reminding me that once upon a time, Barack Obama was your age, but he kept going to school so that when the opportunity arrived, he was prepared to be the first African-American president in history. Something I recall clearly is when Mr. Black spoke to me about it not being enough to advance just myself, and that I have a duty to advance others who may not have my same advantages. He said, the door is going to open and be prepared to walk in, but keep the door open so others can come in too. Although Mr. Black never mentioned this topic during our talk, when I remember him, I think of Black excellence, which I understand now to be both the mindset and action, a driving force for positive change passed on from generation to generation. When I learned of his passing, I realized that during my interview, Mr. Black was opening the door for me. I felt in my stomach a renewed drive to pursue the best possible education and do my part to help solve life's challenges in a way that benefits others as well as myself. Timuel Black's life is a source of encouragement for young people like me. I am so grateful I had the opportunity to meet in person such a wonderful role model. Thank you.